All right, so let's first of all review lower beginner. According to your results, everyone managed to solve all the questions, yeah? So let's finish that level, the sooner the better. By the way, you cannot see anything, of course, I understand that. Let me play in mobile mode. You know that Codiri runs on mobile, right? So just to prove the theory, let me maximize the screen as much as possible. Here you go. So, yeah, I mean, once again, it's a horrible day. It's very bright, very, 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 very bright. But anyway, let's do our best. So on the first question, round. Can anybody tell me what round does? Say it again? Yeah, we shouldn't use the same word that we're trying to explain, yeah? What round does? Rounding a number, yes, like thank you for nothing. Correct. So if I give you number 4.7, what's the rounded version of 4.7? 5, because it's the closest integer. And if it's 4.1, and if it's 4.5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, above. Yeah? And if it's 4.4999999, still 4, yeah? Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So, the exercise is pretty simple. We need to find out what's the right syntax. How do we round a number in JavaScript? A, B, C, or D? A, that's correct. Confetti time, math of round. Yeah? Cool. Any questions? That was easy, right? Question number 2. Let's talk about the strings. Very important topic in JavaScript. Combining variables and messages and stuff like that. It goes without saying that most of these topics will be properly covered through the next days and weeks, yeah? You were not expected to know many of these things, but just by accident you came across them. So get welcome message. Look, we have a platform where we want to welcome our users. So we have Peter, Marta, and Andrew, and we want to say hello Peter, hello Marta, hello Andrew. On the right hand side, both options are pretty much the same. What's the correct one? A or B, and why? E. B. Why B, Rima? I don't know who speaks louder, you or Mingy, right? You play in the same league. Yes, the same, but look, they look the same. What's the difference between A and B? They look the same to me. That's correct. JavaScript, that's important, is case sensitive. So even though the words, the characters are the same, one by one, in reality, we have a capital N. That's why this is the right answer. Question number 3. Slightly more complicated. We receive a string with the name of a planet, Mars, Earth, Mercury, whatever, and we want to return. Can you tell me what type of data do we have here? Array. That's correct, an array. An array is a very important data structure in JavaScript. An array is a list of elements. Array of fruits, apple, orange, banana. An array of cars, BMW, Mercedes, Lotus. Yeah? A list of elements. So, let's pay attention to the structure. We have a variable called result. What type of data result is? Minji? What type of data result is? It's an array, correct. So we have this array, it's like our basket. When you go to Tesco, you pick a basket, it's empty. Eventually, you'll fill it with things that probably you don't need, yeah, like artichokes, avocado, and things like that. So that's the same thing. You got your basket, empty basket, and then you will fill it. So look at the structure. 4 let character of planet name. So that structure that you were not expected to know yet will get each individual character. This is like spelling a word. Monday, M-O-N-D-A-Y. Yeah, it goes one by one. So now the question is, we want to fill the result array, the basket, with each individual character. So which method does the trick? A, B, C, or D? A. Interesting. What unshift does?
Place element in the first position of the array.
It adds an element in the first position of the array. So can you tell me how do we add an element to the last position of the array, Ebrima? Push. That's correct. So unshift adds the element at the beginning. Push adds the element at the end. And what about shift? What shift does?
Remove the first.
Correct. The syntax is very similar. Unshift adds the element. Shift removes the element. And what about pop?
The last element.
Deletes the last element. Correct. So these are 4 of the most famous array methods to add and remove elements from an array. So unshift. Why unshift and not push?
Because we want the name in reverse.
Correct. We want to reverse the list. Yeah. So the array, the first character is M. If we use if we were using push, the result will be on the other way around. M first, then E, then R, then C. We don't want that. We want to reverse the array. So if we pick the first element and we add it on top of the list, eventually the last one will be the first one, if that makes any sense. It works. Any questions? Question number 4. That was the most complicated one, yeah, according to your performance. Get the first available day for booking. So we are creating an app and we want to book something, a table, a meeting room, a partner, I don't care. So we have a list of days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this algorithm should return the first available day for booking. Tuesday and Thursday is fully booked. So we cannot book on Tuesday and Thursday. So apart from Tuesday and Thursday, what's the first available day? Well, if the list of days is Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, the first day that is not Tuesday or Thursday is Monday. On the second use case scenario, if we are only available on Tuesday and Friday, we know Tuesdays are fully booked, then we can only make it on Friday. Eventually, if our availability is just Tuesday and Thursday, we cannot book anything because in these 2 particular days, the meeting room is fully booked. So that's the most complicated part. On Monday, next week probably, we'll talk about find. We'll explain how to find elements in a list. I got a list of fruits. Give me the first fruit of color green, whatever. Yeah, we'll know how to identify elements in a list. But let's pay attention to the syntax. Available day. We want to find the first day that is not Tuesday, and what else? And Thursday or not Thursday? Correct. The first day in the list that is not Tuesday and not Thursday. So on the first placeholder, what's the right option? A, B, C, or D? B. D.
Both of them.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
As Adam said, it doesn't really matter. Yeah? As far as you select the right one in the next placeholder. So let's select B. I want to find the first day that is not Thursday. And then what?
See?
C, correct. The first that is not Tuesday.
It was a bit tricky actually because like visually you see the two answers that you're right and you click on them and if you click on the second one and then the sequence of the answers changes, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yep. The answers are randomly presented. So yeah, that's a bit tricky. So the important thing here is to understand what's going on here. Give me the first day. That is, you see the symbol, exclamation mark, negates. Day that is not Thursday, and that's the and symbol, double ampersand, day that is not Tuesday. Will this work? Let's have a look. Conflict data. Any questions? I'm waiting for feedback. Any questions, guys?
No question.
Cool. Ebrima?
No question.
Cool. You'll find out one day in your life when you talk in front of an audience, it's very inconvenient when you ask a question and you don't get any feedback because that means that either no one is paying attention, no one cares. So that's the place that you interview, right? If the employer asks you, do you have any questions? Are you going to stay like that, looking at the screen? No. No questions. Thank you. Yeah? Sorry, I didn't hear anything, sorry.
I don't know if you guys have done like option as the what happens if you say day equals like Monday or on Friday instead of not Tuesday and
I see what you mean. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, when I say if there is any question, if there are no questions, I jump to the next one. I cannot bring him back. Could we assert positively? Yes, you could say, I want the first day that is either Monday or, how is the or symbol, guys?
2 lines.
2 lines. What's the technical way to describe that character? That's a pipe. 2 pipes, yeah, that's 4. Monday or, yeah, Monday or Friday or, correct, yeah, that, definitely. That could be, in this particular case, we couldn't do that because we had to fill the placeholders. There were only 2 placeholders. But if we had to code the solution by ourselves from scratch, yes, that's valid, Minji. Give me the first day that is either Monday or Wednesday or Friday. And that's probably more natural, yeah? When you want to book an appointment to the hairdresser, what do you do, guys? You tell me, I'm available on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or you tell I'm available every day except Tuesday and Thursday. Well, both are equally valid in reality. Yeah? Anyway, last question, I believe. Get the long words. Can you tell me, guys, let's talk about the signature of the method. So can you tell me how many arguments our get long words method receives? 2 arguments. Wait a minute, do you agree on that? 2 arguments? All right, so now I got a question. Ian, what's the type of the first argument?
It's an array.
Correct, it's an array of words. And Minji, what's the type of the second argument? It's a number, correct. That's correct. So we want to find which word or words, could be more than one, are longer than the number that we facilitate. Yeah, I know, guys, it's very hard to read the screen. I'm sorry about that. It will get better as soon as the weather gets worse, which is quite easy in this place. Yeah? So, yeah. Welcome to Code It Challenge. Give me all the words that have at least 7 characters. Welcome, does it have at least 7 characters? W-E-L, yeah. To. Oh, yeah. So that's pretty much the idea. So now, once again, next Monday, in 7 days, we'll actually do a proper session to explain, find, filter, and all these things. But for now, how can we check if a given word has at least 7 characters? What's the right option? A, B, C, or D?
See?
A.
Controversial. Panos said C. Let's mark it and see what happened. It didn't work. But that's interesting, Panos, because it says, oops, you return, welcome to Codery. Why we are returning welcome to Codery instead of welcome challenge?
We're checking for less than 7.
Correct. What Panos is doing here is, all right, for each word, filter, that means give me the words which length, which size is, look at the symbol, less or equal to. Yeah? We want all the other way around, yeah? Greater or equal. And that means the right answer is A. Fantastic.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, of course.
The first word and the arrow sign, what does that actually do?
That word here,
Yeah.
so that's the way every single method in JavaScript works. You do the array, words, dot, whatever you want to do. In this case, you want to filter, you want to select a subset, dot filter, and now the way we read that is, all right, for each word, singular, you see, singular, for each word, keep it if it satisfies that condition.
That's more ES6, isn't it?
Correct, that's ES6. That's ES6. That feature was introduced in 2015. This is considered modern JavaScript. There are other ways to solve the problem, but you have to write 10 lines of code. Yeah? So that's the way, Daniel, you need to get used to it. Filter, open parentheses, and then for each element, could be a word, could be a fruit, could be a card, could be a porn actor, I don't care. For each element on the list, check something. Yeah? Any questions?
So the arrow means check.
The arrow means this is a function. On the left-hand side of the arrow, you got the argument. On the right-hand side is what do you want to do? In this particular case, I want to check if that word, if the length of that word is greater or equal to a minimum. Anything else? No? Cool. So that was on the lower beginner. Let's do a bit of mid-beginner. Divide each element of an array. Interesting. That's interesting. We have, how many arguments do we have? 4. Interesting. Why 4?
Is it 1?
You said 1?
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard 4. Sorry, 1. All right, it's 1. Correct. Ebrima, what type of data the argument is? That's correct. And what type of data are we returning, Panos? Wrong. This function, divided by 2, returns something. And we need to compare if that's something. Correct, an array of numbers. So essentially, we want to divide an array of numbers. So if you got 2, 4, and 6, we want to return another array with the same size, just dividing. We want to go through each element one by one and divide it by 2. Once again, next week, Monday, Tuesday, we'll do a workshop to explain the map method. You are not expected to know that yet. Map takes an array and it goes individually through all the elements and it transforms them. In this particular case, numbers, plural, list of numbers, dot map, go one by one, and then back to what Daniel asked before, yeah? For each number in singular, give me the number 4, and return what? The same number, 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Oh, thank you. And 8 divided by 2, Minji? Correct. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, that's what map does. As simple as that. Yeah. So question: if you receive an array of 10 fruits and you use map, how many fruits will you have afterwards? 10. So map doesn't change the size. Only transforms each element. It receives one element, it returns something else. You know, if you've ever visited when you were at the school a car factory, you see how they build the cars. It's a chain of steps. Yeah, it's a chain of steps. So the car is still in progress. In the middle of the construction process, it enters a step. There is a machine doing something, maybe, putting the wheels, and then the car goes to the next step, or they put the window, whatever. I just made that up. Yeah, it's a bunch of steps. Yeah, so that's pretty much the same process. With map, we can go through all the individual elements of the array one by one. That's it. Once again, next week we'll do a proper workshop to explain it. Any questions? Exercise number 2, make even. In this particular case, how many arguments do we receive? Ian?
1.
What type of argument is?
The number.
It's a number, correct. So then, Adam, how many, well, not how many arguments, that doesn't make sense. So what's the type of data that function is returning?
True or false?
True or false? You agree on that, guys? Is that function returning a boolean?
Also number.
It's returning a number, as you can see on the right hand side. Make even will return 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 12 million, I don't care, but it returns a number. Yeah? So if the function receives an even number, it will return it as it is. And what happens if the function returns an odd number?
Multiplies by 2.
Multiply by 2, correct. What's the effect of multiplying an odd number by 2?
It's converting to an odd number.
To an odd?
Even number, sorry.
Correct. Yeah? If you got number 7, which is odd, 7 multiplied by 2 is, Ebrima?
Multiplied by 2.
Yes?
It's 14.
That's correct. It's 14. Yeah? And 14 is odd or even? Correct. Yeah? So that's what the algorithm is trying to do, to deal with even numbers. Fantastic. Now we need to do a bit of coding. Yeah? We don't have the placeholders anymore. I can probably zoom it a bit more. Let me try it. Can I? I'm sure I can. Here you go. Oh, look. A bit easier. Yeah? Make even. If something, return something. Yeah? You need to fill the gaps. The thing is, as you can see at the bottom of my screen, I got a function that determines whether the number is even or not. So I don't need to calculate that by myself. I just need to call the function. How do I call the function? Is even. Like that. So, let's think about that. Is that correct, Minji? Why not? Correct. Can you see, guys, where the problem of this algorithm is? Say it again.
After the if statement, make a negative statement.
That's a good question. Do we need an else statement here? Not really.
No.
As soon as you return something, the function is over. Yeah? I agree with you. Probably, if it was me, I would add an else statement for readability, if else. But it's not necessary.
That's not what I said.
Ah, what you said?
To make a negative when it starts from if, like the exclamation mark.
Correct. So you want to negate like that? What do you think, guys? People, your audience is happy with your approach. I am happy as well. So Panos is negating the function. If it's not even, if it's not even means it's odd, because a number is either odd or even, one or the other. Will it work?
It's
Fantastic. Interesting. On the next question, that's the same we've done before. Yeah, on the lower tier. I'm not going to solve it then, because you got the answer on the previous attempt. So let me skip it. I hear some of you guys struggling with this question. Yeah, it's a good question. I love it. So Daria, that's the lady I talked about this morning. She created that question. So is cat. So we want to see, imagine that we are talking about groups of people. So we want to see if a given list of people, they all have a cat. Yeah? You see, you got, no, that's not actually how it works. So we got a list of pets, and we want to see if that list of pets contain just cats or something else. Yeah? So for instance, on the first use cases scenario, can you tell me why that function returns false every map?
First one. So it's got dogs.
That's correct. We got a dog, so not all the pets are cats. Fantastic. And on the second one, it returns true because all the pets are cats. Yeah? So even though that's very easy to understand from human point of view, technically speaking, that's a bit more challenging. Does anybody know which method in JavaScript tells me if all the elements of a list satisfy a given condition?
every
Fantastic. Thank you, Alan. You're absolutely right. Pets.every. Look at, it's quite readable if you think about it. Pets is an array of animals, every. Tell me if every pet is what, Ian? What's the condition here?
No, it's needs to return if that type it's cat equals cat. 3 equals.
Free? Like that? What do you think, guys? Do you agree with Ian? Daniel doesn't feel very convinced.
Yeah.
Ah, you? All right, cool. Any objections? Panos? Ebrima? Minji? No? All good? You're right.
You
Yeah?
just forgot the return.
You just forgot the return. That's a fantastic one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic junior.
That was the struggle.
Yeah. On every iteration, you need to return if the condition. If you forget to add the return statement, yeah. Classic, guys.
I've got a quick question.
Oh, go for it.
Is every an original JavaScript method, or is that one of the newer ones?
It's one of the newer ones. Every was introduced, if I remember correctly, in 2015, alongside a similar one called SOM.
Some, yeah.
Yes. Yes, always, you always have to return something.
No, but like when we use like a map here,
Yes?
like we don't have to like return.
Okay, that's a good point. Let's do something, guys. Let's have a look to the code you wrote. That was question number 3, I believe. 4. Yeah, you're right. Question number 4. Let me scroll down. But you're talking about a different question?
Yeah. So like so
Yes, you have to put the return statement inside of the every function.
But like on question one, when we use map, we even have to
I see what you mean, Minji. I see what you mean. You're right. You're right. She's right. Guys, did you get the problem Minji is reporting? On question number 4, the one we are doing at the moment, we need to use the return statement. This is what Ian was complaining, like we forgot to add the return statement, that's why it didn't work. However, what Minji is talking about is a very good point actually. On question number 1, there is no return statement. Why it worked here but not for Ian on question number 4?
Just because you're not really checking something, you're just
No,
assigning.
it's in line.
It's in line, that's correct. If you just pay attention, it's subtle, but super important. On question number 4,
Yes.
you see that curly bracket? Every time you put the curly bracket, you have to return something.
Okay, that's what you said actually. Yeah.
However,
So how would it be? Could you just remove, if you remove the curly brackets and
Yes.
use head or tie tab, you still work?
if you remove the curly bracket, you have to remove the return statement.
Yeah. I mean, if you remove those and if just keep it in line.
Absolutely. It will work like a charm. It will be super sexy. Yes, that's correct. That's the difference. On question number 1, Minji, you don't have any curly bracket. You see, number, because you don't have any curly bracket, whatever goes next is immediately returned implicitly. That's why you don't need it.
so like it can work either way.
Either way, yeah, that's correct. Cool. That was question number 4, I think. And this is the 5th one. Triple odd number. We've done this question. Was similar. Okay, let's do this one. That's a good question. So we want to triple an odd number. If the number is even, return it as it is. If it's odd, multiply it by what? By 3, correct. So, return. Here, we need to check by ourselves if a number is odd or even. So, how do we know in JavaScript if a number is odd or even, guys?
Use remainder.
Divide by. Divide by. Let's do that. What? Number divided by what? Daniel?
Sorry, not divide. I can't remember what it's called.
Are you talking about the percent symbol?
Yeah, percentage symbol.
Percentage symbol, technically speaking, this is the modulus or the reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, in that case, so for instance, if we do that, is the number odd or even? Even, that's correct. Am I missing anything here in this line?
Question mark.
That's fantastic, yes. As we will see next week, when working if-else statement, we can also create what we call a ternary operator. Let's read it. That's the condition. If that condition is met, then, you see the exclamation mark is then, we return number multiplied by 3. How do we specify the else symbol? Correct, Daniel. Colon. The syntax, is the syntax natural? No, it feels a bit weird, but you just need to get used to it. If question mark, return something. Else, return something else. Will this work? Ian said yes, it will work. Let's have a look. Oh. It didn't. Can anybody see why this code didn't work?
It's going to be non-zero.
That's correct. Non-zero. Non-zero like what? Can it be 1?
Exclamation.
We can do both, right? We can set the modulus is not 0 or the modulus is 1. Can the modulus of a number divided by 2 be 67? If you divide by 2, the modulus 0, 1, So up to you, it doesn't matter.
So earlier you typed exclamation mark and double equals.
Yes.
That works too.
If we do that, that's the same.
Okay. It's not. So far I was just used to exclamation mark 1 equals.
Exclamation mark what, sorry?
And then one equals sign.
Exclamation, like that.
Yes.
That's a good question. We will do a workshop, hopefully. Probably you've seen sometimes, where can I write that? Let me cut that, sorry. To compare, we use triple equals, but some people, they use double equals.
But that's different. The type and
There are some subtle differences between double and triple. Before you know the differences, for now, never use double equals. Always use triple equals, because then the comparison is stricter. There is, have you heard about a book called JavaScript, The Good Parts? Let me show you something. JavaScript, The Good Parts is probably the most important book in JavaScript history. This book is a bit obsolete today. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend you to read it. However, there is a good joke about it. JavaScript on the left versus the good parts. Means the good parts is just a small subset of the language. Jokes aside, this book was written by a guy called Douglas Crackford. Oh, not Douglas Grant. Douglas Crackford. He's considered one of the fathers of JavaScript. I got the chance to meet him in person some years ago. And one of the things he said is double equals are evil. Never use them. Always use triple equals. I don't care if you don't know why. But do it. For now, just do it. One day you'll learn the reasons. Yeah. Likewise, so we assert positively with triple equals. So to negate, we can do that. Or the more strict version, like that. So never do exclamation mark equals. Always do exclamation mark double.
it's the first time I actually see that.
Cool. That's good. That's good stuff. If you go to a job interview, you are doing pairing with someone, and the first thing you do is use triple like that, this expression, you're sending such a beautiful message to the employer, like, oh, this guy really knows what he or she's doing. Yeah. So yes, that's pretty much it. So yeah, something like that.
You miss an equal, yeah?
Oh, sorry. Copy paste, yeah? You're right. I did on purpose. See, you were paying attention. Cool. Will this work? Of course, yeah? Any questions? No? Cool. Easy. Thank you, Adam. Because we are out of time, I'm going to do only one question on the upper beginner. Do you have any preference? Is there any question in particular you want me to review? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One? This one?
Do the last one.
The last one? Okay, question number 5. Single versus double quotes. That's an interesting discussion. How many arguments our function receive? Minji? Two, correct. What type of data? 2 strings, that's correct. So we receive 2 strings, and then we just want to join, concatenate them, work a bit with them. Yeah? Alex and Paris, Alex is in Paris. Tony, Marbella, Tony is in Marbella, whatever. Yeah? So the algorithm is partially implemented, but it doesn't work, right? If I evaluate it, doesn't work. Hopefully you can see some errors. Yeah? So it's clearly something not correct from a syntax point of view. So what is wrong, guys?
Quotation mark.
Quotation. Fantastic. So how do we fix it? Panos?
Just make the tab of the second one. You make it single.
Like that? Will it work?
Yeah. And
Will
you
it-
could do one more thing, right? The variables.
The variables. What do you mean the variables?
Brackets, $sign bracket.
Okay, cool, fantastic. Let's see in how many different ways we can solve the problem. This is one, using single quotes. I'll go with you in a minute, but before going that far, will it work if we were using double quotes? Can we use one or the other, but be consistent? Yeah? Either single or double. Don't mix them. Yeah? Which one do you prefer, single or double? Why?
Easier to read.
As well?
Easier to read.
I agree with that. To me, I prefer double just on the whiskey. But when talking about JavaScript, single used to be better. Let's see what Airbnb says about that. Airbnb JavaScript style guide. So, quotes. Yeah. Use single quotes for strings. You see, bad, this is what we've done, right? Good, single quotes. That's it. This is one of the things, guys, that while doing a job interview, you can do correctly and you can explain the employer. We could use single or double, but I prefer to use single for readability. Also, according to Airbnb, you are essentially proving you're putting your balls on the table in the interview. You're proving that you know these little details. Yeah? The employer will fall in love. Hopefully not literally. Anyway, yeah, and that single or double, it works. And now Panos was suggesting to use something different. So what Panos is suggesting is to use that weird character.
Yes, I forgot about that actually. I would do it without that.
Without that won't work.
I know. But
So-
now I know.
What's the name of this character, guys? Backtick me, fantastic. So the syntax is like that. With dollar and curly brace. Why we use the dollar symbol, guys, and not the sterling or even the euro? It's probably not even on my laptop. Why dollar?
Because then we can do a lot more with the string, like we don't have to do like new line operators.
Yeah. I get all these things, but why we use the dollar symbol and not the sterling?
This is the syntax.
Say again?
This is the syntax.
You're right. It's because it's in the syntax, on the ECMAScript syntax. We remember this morning, ECMAScript says that we need to use the dollar. But once again, because the software is controlled by the Americans. It's been controlled by the Americans, historically speaking. The immense majority of the programming languages use the dollar symbol. We'll see what happens in the future with that. But anyway, for now, look. We'll write something like that. Make sense? This is the new way of combining variables, person, location, and hard-coded text is in. This is what we call template literals.
Would you like us to use template literals through all of our apps?
Yes. That syntax has proved to be more convenient, especially when you have to combine multiple variables. Dealing with pluses is harder to read and error prone. Template literals is, to me, the preferred way. And of course, it works. Yeah? Any questions? No? Cool. So yeah, that was it. I know we've been dealing with many new stuff. That's a bit overwhelming, I suppose. But yeah, you did really well. So that's good. It's a fantastic first challenge, guys. Keep practicing. Keep training on the platform. Yeah. Yeah, and on Friday we'll do a new round, this time with React.js. Thank you.